This meeting is being live streamed. Give me 30 seconds.
Just wait a moment. Just wait a
Nope,
moment.
don't save it, Ryan. We're going to share it. We're going to copy the link. We're going to go back to Instagram, and then we're going to forget how to post a link because I'm old.
Just wait a moment. Just wait a moment. Just wait a moment, sir.
Rooting to the billing department.
Do not redeem it.
Okay. We are posted.
Oh no.
Laggy.
Let's this has worked before if I made it worse.
Still a little laggy. Yeah, you're good.
That's my messy office, but
Nice.
what if I
It's good.
that's good. Now let's do oops, that's the wrong setting because Zoom can't make anything easy.
Between Zoom and Slack. You're good.
Yay.
Alrighty.
This is a high performance MacBook Pro, and sometimes it can't handle a background. I blame Zoom.
Understandable. I would too.
Alrighty, let's get into it.
Yep. Hello and welcome to the Warrior House Podcast, where Warrior Pride lives. I'm your host, Ryan Reingard, joined by my co-host, Mike Sangster. Thanks for joining us on episode 123 of the Warrior House Podcast. And it reminds me of that Britney Spears song, and I had to look up the lyrics because I didn't know what the line after that. Just 1, 2, 3, not only you and me. That's it. So,
I don't remember that one.
uh, yeah, it's a later on Britney Spears song, way
Got,
after Baby One More Time, and
got it.
I think I did it again or whatever it was. Um, we're here, Sangster. It's March. It's March Madness time. I've said it before. I'll say it forever. It's my favorite month of the year. Things just get a little bit better when March it comes across the calendar, and I'm very excited that we're here. We get to talk about a lot of basketball. You mentioned in the I think the previous episode that we have Bar Madness coming up. Of course, we do our bracket pool, the Warrior House hot tub. So we got a lot of things coming up here within the next couple of weeks. We're going to be out of town. Unfortunate timing because basketball is going to be in town for some postseason action. But it's very exciting time of the year.
Yeah, I know you're talking about like let's try and get the CBS March Madness theme on here. I don't think we can do that now. If we did, we could do like a musical critique of it. We would have to put all of our talents and efforts to analyzing the music for that, and then we could get away with it and say that fair use and things like that. I don't think we can swing that though. I don't think we're good enough at that to do that.
That's a bummer, but nonetheless. But thanks. So we're going to start by looking back at what's happened over the last week. But first, do 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 do. That's how you skirt that right there. We just
There
sing
you
it
go.
like we're weird. All right, let's talk about it. So men's basketball. We're going to start out with them. We're going to do some brief recaps of basketball because we're going to be talking about postseason in the second half here. But starting out, Wayne State men's basketball team was home last Thursday, taking on Lake Superior State, and Lake Superior State wins this one 82-79. Bummer in this one. Carlos Paul III, Jordy Briggs, Jalen Jenkins, and Adam Arel all went for double digits. So the offense really showed up in this one. Wayne State out rebounded Lake Superior State in this one. That's a fantastic thing. And at the end of the day, it still was not enough to win, even though Wayne State had a fantastic 3-point shooting day on top of all of that. Left some points at the free throw line, which I think may have been a little bit of a difference here. But yeah, this is just a bummer, Sangster. It felt like a game that Wayne State could have easily won with how they were playing, offensively at least.
Yeah, and it really goes back to a lot of those stats that you brought up last episode about what makes a GLIAC champion, and the biggest one that you put out was team scoring defense, and Yeah, there have been days that Wayne State men's basketball has not shot the ball well, and you can point to those days as uh, games that you could have won. Wayne State put on a good defensive effort. This was not that kind of game. This one, Wayne State played excellent offense, aside from leaving significant points at the free throw line. Uh, but Lake Superior State's offense just got the better of them on this day.
Yeah, absolute bummer there. It was and we kind of highlighted going into this weekend, the only way for Wayne State to be the men's basketball team to be able to get a home game in the GLIAC tournament was to sweep the weekend and have a Purdue Northwest loss. I actually didn't check to see if Purdue Northwest lost whether or not.
I didn't either.
Um,
That would hurt if they did. So
yeah, because I mean, it was right there for us. We were basically 3 points away from having a home game in the GLIAC tournament. Foreshadowing because on Saturday, Saginaw Valley comes to town and Wayne State wins that one by a final score of 85 to 76. A very necessary win here. Carlos Paul III, Chris Mutabi, and Jordan Briggs all go off for double digits in this one. Another great shooting day by Wayne State. My hope is that this continues into the next game, which we'll talk about in the second half here. It's postseason time. But very, very good shooting games are few and far between for this Wayne State men's basketball team. They just have not been able to consistently shoot the ball well game after game. So to be able to see two back to back like this, Sangster, I think that's a fantastic thing. And again, we out rebounded Saginaw Valley. Just a fantastic day to be a great Wayne State Warrior in this one.
yeah, and defensively, you would have liked to hold Saginaw to a few lower points than what they ended up doing. Definitely in the second half, you'd like to think that Wayne State might have been feeling it a little bit. Just hey, we're pretty well ahead. At half, it was 48-26 in favor of Wayne State. So Saginaw Valley did make it sort of interesting at the end. Wayne State was still able to hold them at bay here. I'm glad that you mentioned Chris Mutabi. He's been on the team a while. Had his name called out for senior day. Uh, a guy that we've seen bits and pieces of that. Sometimes it just doesn't work out as far as getting playing time that you'd like. But on senior day, seeing him being able to put in really solid minutes uh, with what he was able to do, played 18 minutes, had 11 points, 3 for 3 from the 3 point line. What a way to end your regular season career at Wayne State. He also had 2 steals in this one. So really good stuff to see from him.
Yeah, no doubt. And I did happen to end up looking it up. Purdue Northwest did win, but like for whatever reason, we must have been we must have had wrong information because Lake Superior State is the 4 seed in this one. So I don't know. I think we would have bumped up to the 5 seed, and the tournament would look a little bit different. I'm foreshadowing the second half here, but regardless of any of that, it is great to see a guy like you were saying, sir, like Chris Mutabi, be able to go out there, put up some points when he gets his opportunity, gets his curtain call, if you will. Good stuff for him. And again, we'll be talking about them in the second half. I really hope this offensive show out continues, and I hope this out rebounding thing continues because that will bode well, I do believe, for this team. And then rolling on in, Sangster, again, we're going to do kind of keep it a little bit brief here for the women's basketball team. Back on Thursday, they took on Lake Superior State, and they approximately dominated Lake Superior State. Final score 98 to 61. We talked about it last week. It ended up happening. Gabby Luchka and Taylor Thompson joined the 1,000 point club. In this game, Gabby Luchka, McKenna Ferguson, Taylor Thompson, and JC Tubergen all got double-digit points. In addition, Taylor Thompson ended up getting the double-double. Great showing by Wayne State paired with a cold shooting day by Lake Superior State leads to a good win. Just exactly what you needed.
Yeah, exactly what Wayne State needed to even get a chance at maybe getting a higher seed. Again, foreshadowing. Another big thing here, like you said, Taylor Thompson and Gabby Luchka both joining the 1,000 point club in this one. Gabby Luchka, really interesting. She made her got 2 or just above 1,000 points on a buzzer beater at the end of the first half, and I was still on the way to the game in this one. I was listening on the Warrior Sports Network. Uh, Sideline interview with Coach Laura. Apparently, everyone was celebrating. All the team members were on the court, and she was like, "Guys, we still got like half a basketball game to play. What are we doing?" Because she didn't quite realize that Gabby had gotten the 1,000 points. So she's like, "Yeah, when I go back in the locker room, I'm gonna have to apologize and then say, okay, I get it now. Yeah, that's 100% fine." But the really big thing I think with getting them both in the 1,000 point club, not only because it's an incredible individual accomplishment, especially for Gabby Luchka. You got to consider that she did this in 3 seasons, playing for Wayne State. She didn't really see the floor a whole lot, transferring in from Northwood her first year here.
Yeah, I mean,
But
really good
also to
stuff for
get
her
it.
though.
Oh yeah, for sure. But just to, I agree with Coach Laura what she said on either the pre or halftime, one of the interviews she did, that just getting it out of the way, out of your mind. You know you're gonna make it. You're that good of a basketball player. Let's just get that over with. And again, against a team that you should handle business against, like Lake Superior State. Get out of your head. Also, it's an awesome accomplishment to have. Now we can go play basketball the rest of this. Well, now going into the postseason.
Yeah, 100%. So really good to get that out of the way Thursday, and then Saturday, senior day, the Wayne State women's basketball team takes on Saginaw Valley. Lots of seniors for this Wayne State women's team, and we'll talk about postseason here in the second half. But another handle your business game. Wayne State's able to do that. They win by a final score of 94-78. Gabby again, Taylor Thompson, Carrington Gordon, and McKenna Ferguson all get double digits. I mean, elite shooting day by Wayne State. We made their shots. They made their shots at the free throw line and from the field. Out rebounded Saginaw 38-29. I mean, that's good stuff there. 18 turnovers by Wayne State. If there was a single thing that I would look at that says like we could improve that, or a single thing to complain about, it would be the number of turnovers. And 18 of them, it's possible that coming down the stretch that we were playing the bench a little bit more, playing a little bit loose, trying some things. I don't know for sure, but like at the end of the day, that stat is the only concerning one to me. So I'll take it. If 18 turnovers leads to a 16-point win for the rest of my life, I will take 18 turnovers in every single game for the rest of my life. So, but good stuff. A good way to close out the regular season for this women's basketball team.
Yeah, never gonna apologize for a win here. Unfortunately, those 18 turnovers did lead to 27 points for Saginaw Valley, kind of keeping them in this one, if you can say that, really. Uh, there was only one, there were 2 quarters where Saginaw Valley outscored Wayne State, but a huge first half. I'm sorry, first quarter for Wayne State, 26-10. I thought that Saginaw wouldn't get out of single digits in that one. They did eventually, but still just an outright domination by Wayne State over Saginaw Valley. One quick note in the Lake Superior State game, Taylor Thompson did have a double, 17 points, 14 rebounds. Definitely a great way to reach the 1,000-point club. And then going forward into GLIAC Player Awards, Gabby Luchka got Offensive Player of the Week for the second time now.
Yeah, I mean, coming down the stretch, she's really kind of started to show out a little bit, which is fantastic to see. Again, that is another thing that will bode well is this offensive showing for this women's basketball team. I mean, that's 2 games in a row, right? That they were well into the 90s. That does, I don't know at what point in the season you have to go back to figure out what they did. Maybe in the early season when we were taking on some like D3 schools, some lower end D2 schools, what have you, but just really good stuff to see there.
Yeah, really great stuff from this team, and we'll be definitely talking about them in the next segment of the podcast.
Yeah, no doubt. So the Wayne State women's tennis team was also in action Thursday. They were taking on Saginaw Valley. Wayne State won that one by a final score of 6-1. Wayne State gets the doubles point. Malik Arafat, Martina Spikovska, Selena Kayakent, Justine Boulier, and Shantala I still don't have a pronunciation. End up getting the wins there, and then Saginaw Valley was able to win one of those singles events. So good stuff there. And then they come back on Saturday, home taking on Hillsdale. Wayne State wins that one by a final score of 4-3. A little change of pace. Hillsdale actually took the doubles point in this one, but Malik, Martina, Selena, and Justine all won their singles events, and then Hillsdale won the other 2. And I'm going to make a similar point here, Sangster, as I kind of throw it over to you to talk about the men's tennis team, that if we can consistently rely on Malik, Martina, Celine, and Justine to either win or make it extremely competitive, this bodes very well this season for this women's tennis team.
Yeah, really great stuff coming from all of them, and just laying the foundation now for it's going to be a quote unquote long season, definitely going through. We got most of March and April to play here, eventually going outside, seeing what that's going to do to this team, but still really good stuff from them going against Saginaw Valley and Hillsdale. On the other side, on men's tennis, Wayne State was also home against Hillsdale. Wayne State wins this one a lot more convincingly. Ends up 6-1. Wayne State gets the doubles point, and then in the doubles points, George Day, Louis Klaus, Thomas Mathis, Benjamin Hill, and Harry Forsyth uh, won all their singles matches. So Wayne State only ends up dropping one of the singles matches here. And then on Sunday, they also have a home match against Division III Case Western Reserve, former President's Athletic Conference opponent there. Wayne State ends up winning this one 5-2. For what it's worth, Case Western Reserve is ranked number 5 in a Division III right now. Definitely a really good Division III team. Case Western does end up winning the doubles point. It was a close one, but Case Western gets that one. But on the singles matches, Wayne State wins the day there. George Day, Louis Klaus, Thomas Mathis, Benjamin Hill, and Harry Forsyth all wins their matches.
Yeah, and similar point there. Like for the men's tennis team, this season bodes very well if George Day, Louis Klaus, Thomas Mathis, Benjamin Hill, like there's a couple matches in a row for this team that they have won or have made it very, very competitive. If that continues on, just from the fact that like there's only 7 points that you can get in tennis, things look very good for both of these teams. So not necessarily wanting to throw out who's the team of the spring yet, because I mean, team of the winter, we know women's basketball team. We're going to be talking about them for a couple of weeks. I do believe, but it's going to be very exciting when we talk about what's going on the tennis courts, indoor, outdoor, whenever that happens. Very good stuff there. And
Well,
then baseball, Sangster. Yeah.
I think it's certainly possible that we might have multiple teams plural of the spring here because you were just about to get into baseball and they're showing some good stuff too.
Yeah, they really are. And so the Wayne State baseball team had a weekend series taking on Finley. And so, again, for those who didn't follow along for the last episode or haven't, weekend in collegiate baseball means a Friday game, doubleheader on Saturday, and a single game on Sunday. On Friday, Wayne State won by a final score of 9-2. Will Lowry is just something else right now. I mean, I think this is his second or third start for the season, and he shut the Oilers down in this one. So, I mean, definitely a player to keep their eye out for. And I think Jeff let us know that he was actually a transfer from Kalamazoo College, if I'm not mistaken. I can get fact checked on that again. But really good stuff there. Rolling into Saturday, Finley did end up taking the first one in this doubleheader by a final score of 6-2. The Oilers did get on base by walking, quite a bit, and they were able to cash in on only 5 hits. So they just loaded up the bases, get a couple of hits, and they were able to put up 6 points. And then paired that with some cold bats by Wayne State, 6-2 win for Finley. We move on from that one. The second game in that doubleheader, Wayne State wins by a final score of 6-4. An absolute barn burner here. Wayne State did start finding success in the final 2 innings, just getting a couple of triples in there. So some extra base hits, get some runners in scoring position. We were able to cash in on that and win. And then finally, Sangster closing it out on Sunday. Wayne State wins by a measly score of 15-1. It was just a very patient day, is what the stats are saying. That 12 walks, 11 hits, a couple of home runs, finding your pitch, a couple of extra base hits, and then when you give up 1 run, turns out you also had some great pitching and some great fielding. That's a very, very, very big win. So I mean, things are looking good for this Wayne State baseball team right now, and we'll talk about their record in the second half, but it's looking pretty good for this team.
Yeah, winning your series is always a good way to have success, but also especially against a team like Finley. They're in the Midwest region, might not be in the conference anymore, but they are in the region. Certainly helps with where this team wants to go. And rounding out last weekend's events, we had the women's indoor track and field team was at the GLIAC Indoor Championships. It kind of was a rough first day for Wayne State. They ended up in 5th. However, there were some big time performances going on day 2 of the event, and that led to Wayne State edging out Saginaw Valley by 1 point for second place. But it's still second, it's still a podium finish. Not going to apologize for that. Unfortunately, Grand Valley does get the first place finish there. Again, kind of as we said when it comes to anything Grand Valley related, thank you to the rest of the GLIAC for not being able to beat them in anything. Really appreciate it. But looking at Wayne State's performance here, first place performance in the distance medley relay from Anna Godowski, Hannah Bastianson, Rachel Felsto, and Emily Gordon. Another first place finish in the triple jump by Nicole Warren. And then we had a slew of second place finishes in the 200-meter dash, Rachel Overgard, 400-meter run, Avery Wilson, 800-meter run, Emily Gordon, and on the 4x400-meter relay, setting a school record and an NCAA provisional time was the team of Hannah Bastianson, uh, Rachel Overgard,
Audrey Huizinga.
yep, and
And then
Kanisha.
yep. Yeah, I mean those are some really good ones. I remember the Nicole Warren one. That was a pretty big story that the Wayne State Athletics put out.
Yep.
And yeah, but I mean pair that with another win, like that's just some pretty cool stuff for this team. And we're going to be talking about them. As you mentioned, there's some provisional, so this isn't the end for a number of these athletes. We'll see what the entire roster looks like, but that's some pretty good stuff for this team.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Again, a really good showing at GLIAC Indoor Championships, considering that uh, Wayne State is one of those schools that does not have a true indoor track adapting facility. And yeah, you can run anywhere inside, maybe up and down the halls in the math. I gotta imagine more in the Duchesne Center, but not having a full track inside, being able to put up that kind of performance, really great stuff from them.
Yeah, it really is. So that's what we had over the last week. I know we kind of did a crash course on a lot of that because we have so much coming up over this next week, Sangster. So um, we'll take a quick break. We'll be back, and then we have a ton to talk about. So we'll be right back.
That is a loaded baked potato.
It's a lot of stuff. I mean, luckily, I know the swim and dive looks large, but it's just
Just
calling out all the athletes that'll be there.
yes, sorry, Bob. Schedule sports schedule.
Are you bringing a deck of cards?
Absolutely.
All right, good. How are my headphones doing? Oh, 32. We're good. We got battery. We got nothing but battery. We got battery to kill.
Okay, and that cell's pulled up. Do we have selection for fencing? Or
I
is it
think
just the team?
I think the whole team goes.
Oh yeah, it's the Midwest Regional. That's right. Never
Yeah.
mind.
I was trying to figure out where I assume it's hosted by Yeah, it's hosted by Cleveland State.
Nice.
Yeah, it both all of their everyone goes there.
Noise.
Is there like
Oh,
D2 like fencing rankings?
it'll be
Oh,
division fencing.
whoops. Oh, there's point standings. Uh, okay. Um, you have women's basketball this season, what we've done against Roosevelt,
Yep.
and then men's basketball, what they did against Grand Valley.
Yep.
Cool. Other than that, I think we're good.
Let's do it.
And we're back. Again, cue the song, Sangster. March Madness, just fantastic time. We're into postseason college basketball. It is my favorite playoff of any sport out there. I don't know I don't know what I could even make the argument that comes close to it, but for whatever reason, it's so much fun when we get to postseason college basketball. I don't know if you agree or not.
I no, I definitely agree with that one. I think maybe the closest you could get is college hockey, maybe, but you got to be kind of a nerd to get into that. And be honest, you're not going to be watching the NCAA Frozen Four if your team of choice is not in it.
That's a fair point.
You-
If your
And
team
now,
of choice
granted,
isn't in it, you're probably watching you might be watching the Final Four. You might be at Texas Roadhouse and it's on the TV and you'll watch it.
right, exactly. Now, flip side, March Madness, you're going to be watching that no matter what. And granted, Michigan State really haven't had to deal with that problem in a very long time of not making it. But
Yeah.
certainly, even if you go to other schools, that you're still going to watch.
Yep, no doubt. So again, it is time. We're into GLIAC tournament time. We're going to start out. We're going to talk about our Wayne State women's basketball team of the winter. We called it early, Sangster, and this team has absolutely delivered on that, finishing the regular season with the final record of 22-6 overall, 17-3 in GLIAC, and they come into the GLIAC tournament as the 2 seed. I mean, like statistically, they can't be the 1 seed, but we know how they've played the 1 seed. So, like, I'm just saying they've looked like maybe one of the best in the GLIAC for a good amount of this season. I think it's very good to see. It's very refreshing to see that this team is able to get back up to that level. So starting out on Wednesday at 5:30 p.m., fill the field house, as Wayne State Athletics is kind of putting out on the socials right now. Again, unfortunately, we cannot be there. We already have flights booked to go to a different state, so we will not be at the field house. We 100% will be following along. But the Wayne State women's basketball team takes on Roosevelt at 5:30 p.m. on Wednesday, March 4th. Roosevelt comes in with a final record of 8-19 overall, 7-13 in the GLIAC. And Sangster, before we kind of talk about what the road ahead looks like, let's get a little bit of a look back to the regular season. What has happened for this women's basketball team versus Roosevelt?
Yeah, well, there's been a really limited history between these two teams, only 4 regular season matchups. For what it's worth, this is Roosevelt's first appearance in the GLIAC women's basketball tournament in only their second year in Division Two, which really, if you're, I'm looking at the standings right now, if you're Davenport, Saginaw Valley, or Purdue Northwest, you're just kind of looking at yourself like, man, we let these guys get into the tournament, not us. Yikes.
Yep.
But they're the opponent on the board, and Wayne State has this season specifically has done very well against them. Obviously, last game, February 19th, in Chicago, Wayne State won that one 94-73. At home, they won that one 78-50. Only other 2 matchups in 25. Wayne State actually had lost that one in Chicago 62-66. Won it at home 75-66. So first year, the games were a little closer. This year, it's been pretty much utter domination of this Wayne State team over Roosevelt. It is tournament time. Anything can happen. There is the madness aspect, but especially considering that Wayne State is at home right now, I would say that Wayne State should be expecting this win and expect to move on in this tournament.
Yeah, I would completely agree. And I will say one of the big things about getting that 2 seed is, like you said, Sangster, madness can happen. Grand Valley has lost this season. By the way, they only lost 1 time this season to a team by the name of Wayne State University. So that's fantastic. It can happen. And if it does happen, I do think it's a long shot. That means that Wayne State would be hosting this weekend. So that play is out there. As crazy as March gets, there is a possibility that that happens. And I think it's fantastic this team got the 2 seed. And then what does the road ahead look like? So the winner of Wayne State versus Roosevelt would then take on the winner of Parkside versus Ferris. After that, the winner of that then goes on to play for a championship. Go Lake Superior State coming in as the 8th seed. Well, first of all, go Wayne State, like go get your win, and then go Lake Superior State. And if that's able to happen, the GLIAC tournament championship runs through the Wayne State field house. And I think that would be fantastic to see. I think this team deserves, I guess I shouldn't say they deserve it. It would be very, very nice for this team after the season that they've had to be able to play that type of those meaningful games on their home court. If it doesn't happen, fine and dandy. Win your game. We'll go on out to the sticks known as Allendale, Michigan, as we got into a little argument a couple weeks ago on X. Um, but yeah, I mean, just that would be great for this team. And then wrapping it all up, 10:30 p.m. on Sunday, March 8th is Selection Sunday for D2 women's basketball. At that point, we will find out, hopefully, where this Wayne State women's basketball team will be playing and who they'll be playing in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I've got the regional rankings pulled up. They have not updated them since we last reported on it. Uh, what we do know is that, as of this ranking, Wayne State was still, number four. Number one is Grand Valley. I don't see any path where they're not number one. Uh, Maybe if Missouri St. Louis by their record is the next closest, but they're all the way down at number seven. So I imagine they're looking at something like the Massey rankings and taking into account a lot of that stuff. So barring something crazy, it's likely that Grand Valley, no matter what they do, is going to get the number one overall seed. Ferris State did drop their game against Grand Valley, which helps Wayne State get that higher seeding to the number two spot. They were number two. Could they move? You got Northwood at number three. So they might have similar records. I admittedly did not look and see what Northwood did this past week, and I'm sure some of it'll account in the GMAC tournament as well. So we'll see what it means. But for right now, I think it's safe to say that Wayne State is solidly in uh, the NCAA tournament, no matter what happens in the GLIAC tournament. You'd still like to win it because you'd still like to hoist some hardware up at the field house.
Yeah, and you would definitely like to make a deep run. You'd love to make it to the championship because I do think that would solidify you as the two seed. I think Grand Valley, unfortunately, even if we go out and beat Grand Valley, I think it's going to be a hard sell to say that Wayne State would be above them. Maybe that will actually end up happening, but because Ferris is part of that, as you just said in the regional rankings, Ferris is in that top four right now. There's a path that either we get to play Ferris State and play for a chance to beat them, or go beyond how far they make it in the GLIAC tournament. I think there's a lot at play there, especially when you talk about those standings. So we'll see what happens there. But at the end of the day, Wayne State women's basketball team, it's been a fantastic season. I want to see this team go very, very far. And it starts on Wednesday, March 4th against Roosevelt. So with that, Sangster, we also have some men's basketball. As I cut you off, I'll let you throw your statement in there, and then you can kind of talk men's basketball.
Yeah, and the only thing is that it would be a massive upset for it to happen. So I'm not really gonna think about it too hard. But if Lake Superior State somehow did beat Grand Valley and Wayne State wins their game against Roosevelt, I'm really trying to remember if over the course of the history of the GLIAC tournament, if Wayne State has hosted anything beyond the first day. I can't. I I remember having a few, first round games, though we might have been the higher seed. They were so long ago, though. I know we didn't. I think a couple of them I remember we didn't advance early on, but uh, due to Wayne State's own accord. But that'd be really interesting if it were to happen. But again, odds are a little bit slim right now. Grand Valley is still Grand Valley. Lake Superior State is still Lake Superior State. So, but moving on to the men's basketball team, they end the season kind of similar to how they have the past couple. 13 and 13, 10 and 10, good for the number 6 seed uh, in the GLIAC tournament. Unlike a couple years past, really weren't sweating this one out too hard to know if Wayne State was going to get in. Kind of just a matter of where they would end up. They do end up as the 6th seed, so they will be playing Wednesday at Grand Valley, who comes in with a record of 22 and 6 and 15 and 5 in the conference. Overall, this season, Wayne State split the series in Allendale 81-72, but at home winning it 70-68. At that time, Grand Valley was ranked the number 14 team in the country. Not sure if they're still on the rankings or not. Looking back historically, it's actually been pretty evenly split. Right now, since 2003, Wayne State is 18 and 20 against Grand Valley. At home, they are 9 and 9. On the road, they're 9 and 11. So uh, this one has been a little more even between the two teams. Unfortunately, compared to the women's team until that win they most recently had, it had been a struggle against Grand Valley. So there are seasons you can look uh, going back to 24. Uh, they've split the season series, so we'll see what they can do. Certainly, I could see a path for Wayne State winning here if they play the way that we've seen them play against, say, Saginaw Valley. Just keeping up on defense and somehow finding their shot. When they can find their shot, and more often than not, they've played pretty good defense. Wayne State has shown that they can compete with some of the top teams in the conference.
Yeah, and I don't know if you talked too much about what the road ahead is, Sangster, and where the GLIAC tournament could lead to through the men, but the winner plays Tech Davenport winner, and then the winner from there plays for a championship in the GLIAC, and that's probably the only route that this Wayne State men's basketball team has in order to get into the NCAA tournament. I mean, it can happen. It's you're in the bracket for a reason. You win a game, you win a game, you win a game, you're in. At the end of the day, that's really what it comes down to. And Wayne State has beaten a lot of these teams throughout the season. So, we'll see what happens. It's unfortunate that there's been weekends for this men's basketball team where you feel really good and you're like, oh, this is a team that can start to compete. They can do it. And then, there's been weekends where, oh, they should win this game, and then they don't. And it kind of just ruins the rankings a little bit, drops them down a little bit, and gets them into the sixth seed, which is, not an awful place to be. You don't have to face the number one overall seed until the very end, which in a lot of cases may end up being the host team for this GLIAC tournament. But yeah, it's been an interesting season. We talked about what this team lost. We talked about what this team gained, and this is where they're at right now after this regular season.
Yeah, and overall, it's kind of been where Wayne State's been, like I said, the past few seasons, kind of in that middle right now. The thing is, right now there are a lot of GLIAC teams kind of in that middle right now. Purdue Northwest ends up with a 10-10 record. Even the two schools under Wayne State in the GLIAC tournament right now, Davenport with an 8-12, Ferris with a 7-13, and they had a little bit of a drop off after their coach went to what do you call it, Central Michigan, and then even on the top ends of the GLIAC right now, Lake Superior State, one Wayne State unfortunately lost to, did split the season with them. 12-8, Grand Valley 15-5, Northern Michigan 16-4, and Michigan Tech 16-4. Yeah, when you look at the overall records, there is a bit more than Wayne State has there, but especially looking at Lake Superior State, 2 games out, you had an opportunity to surpass them in the conference standings. At the end, unfortunately, you didn't. Is what it is. But this team is close, and maybe there was something that they needed more. But at the end of the day, I think they were still closer in this one to having a improved season year over year than they were last year. So
Yeah, no doubt.
basically go out and do your best to win this darn tournament. Again, going back to, I think it was 2021, the post-COVID year, Davenport wins it as an 8 seed, gets into the NCAA tournament. So anything could happen here. These teams, I think basically it feels like they've all beaten each other at least once, or if they've lost the series, some of them at least have been close. So best of luck to our Wayne State men's basketball team as they will be taking on Grand Valley in Allendale.
Yeah, so Sangster, really quick before I talk about softball, I had to look it up to figure out when was the last time the GLIAC Women's Basketball Championship was played on Wayne State's campus. 2014 was the year, and Wayne State hosted the semifinals and finals that year. It has not happened before that because 1991, according to this Wikipedia article I'm looking at, that's when the GLIAC started doing a tournament for a championship, like making a tournament championship. It's happened one time in 35 years that the championship has taken place at that time, of course, the Math Eye, but that's the only time that has happened on Wayne State's campus. So a little fun fact there. I got to steal a fun fact away from Sangster on that one.
There we go.
Really quick here, talking about our Wayne State softball team. They're currently at an overall record of 4-3, and I'll say it feels like they've taken a step forward. I know it's early in the season. I know there's still so much basketball, so much softball to be played We haven't even gotten hardly above freezing outside, and I'm already saying that. So I understand how ridiculous that sounds, but so far at this point, it feels like this team has taken a step forward, and we're going to find out just how much of a step forward they've taken. This weekend on Saturday, they have a doubleheader at home, taking on Oakland of D1. Oakland comes in with an 8-4 overall record. They have not had any conference action so far, so 0-0 there. We'll see what happens. It almost kind of feels like a home game for both teams, crosstown rivals, what have you. This is a really cool opportunity, though, for this team, I think.
Yeah, and it's when you get the benefit of playing a Division 1 team, you can kind of take the positive from it. Yeah, if Wayne State wins, that oh yeah, we're awesome and just gonna catapult the rest of the season. If you drop them, one that I don't think it counts in the first place, and two, they're D1, you're D2. It is what it is. They're expected to win. Wayne State's job is to make that not happen. So, really good stuff. Again, I'd need to look in a little more to see what they're doing compared to last year, but 4-3, it's a solid start. I know they're playing some good opponents, and not at home. Certainly being neutral site, but still away from home can certainly impact play there. The other diamond sport, we got baseball. Right now, they are 10-2. Really excellent start to the season. GLIAC play has not begun yet, and it still will not begin for a while still, but it is early in the season. Previous regional rankings had Wayne State in fourth. They were receiving a first place vote there. Do not have updated ones yet. Uh, you would like to think though that a 4-0 or a 3-1 record this weekend, it's going to boost Wayne State up to receiving votes, maybe cracking that top 25. We'll see what they can do at the Russ Matt Invitational in Davenport, Florida. Competition that Wayne State has been at for pretty much as long as we've been doing the podcast, at least as far as I can remember. Davenport, Florida is southwest of Orlando. Really nice place to visit this time of year because it's kind of, it's great right now. Lovely, balmy 38 degrees outside. Big opportunity to showcase what this team can do now. All the opponents that Wayne State is going to be facing are part of the Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference, covering states like Minnesota. I think they go into the Dakotas, Iowa's, kind of teams in that west of the Midwest region. So on Monday, next Monday, Wayne State will be playing Minnesota State Mankato. They come in with a 9-3 record and 5-1 in their conference. Tuesday they'll be playing St. Cloud State. They are 7-4 and 5-1 in their conference. Wednesday, they'll be playing Winona State. They're 4-3 and 1-2 in their conference. And then the Thursday after that, so not next Thursday, but the Thursday after, if I'm reading this right, Wayne State will be playing Minnesota Duluth, who comes in with a record of 3-5 and 2-4.
Yeah, no, you're spot on with that. And you are mostly correct. Fun fact, Wayne State College is part of the NSIC. And that conference, for the most part, takes up, Minnesota, the Dakotas, like you said, Nebraska. So very, very much the Great Plains state. And I mean, I agree. This Wayne State baseball team is just it. They've found the right pieces. They've kept the right players. And so far this season, they've done some seriously good stuff. And this weekend, I mean, this is, I guess, technically next week. It's not really over the weekend. They'll be traveling down there over the weekend, I'm sure. Some big time stuff to show that I would assume within the Midwest region, NSIC is going to be a part of that. So there's something to be said about when we get closer to postseason play. I don't know, when the weather is in the 50s or 60s, that this team is going to be able to look back on these games and these are going to have the impact. That's kind of what these mean. And it's one of those, like, you get out of town with your team, you get to bond a little bit, even though these guys have probably known each other for multiple seasons at this point. But it's really good opportunity for them. And with a 10-2 record, like you said, if you can come back, win all four of those, or at least win three of the one. I actually didn't check to see if they have a couple of games after the Thursday one. But there's a very, very good chance that this is going to be a top 25 team. And if they do that, I would back it 100% that they deserve that ranking.
Oh yeah, really good stuff and a big opportunity here for baseball. Jumping back into postseason play, the Wayne State men's and women's fencing teams will be headed to the NCAA Midwest Regionals. This year they're in Cleveland, Ohio. On Sunday, March 8th, it's going to be hosted by Cleveland State. Uh, Again, former school where Coach Andy Tollner's had coached at previously before coming to Wayne State. So best of luck to all of our fencers going down to compete there. Big opportunity for them again. From what we've heard, that the results from regionals don't count as much as what you did during the regular season as it did in years past, but it's still a big component of who ends up going to nationals. Speaking of nationals, though, both the Wayne State men's and women's swim and dive teams will be sending athletes out to the NCAA nationals, hosted in Evansville, Indiana. Right now, the women are sending Ellie Belmore to compete in the 200 meter individual medley, 400 meter individual medley, and the 200 meter backstroke. Diane Mucciolini will be competing in the 1650 meter free, 1000 meter free, and 500 meter free. And then Ariana Rian Ahu, Rihanna Ahu, whatever.
Yeah,
Really butchered that.
yeah,
I thought
yeah.
they were all one word.
No, you're good. Rihanna Hugh, you had it right.
There we go. Alicia Viaches will both be going to diving prelims.
Yeah, really good stuff over on the women's side. I mean, only a couple of representatives that get to be sent for that one, which is a bummer. But I will also say it's not really that much of a surprise. We talked about it being a down year, which means that when we come back to this team next season, we expect that a lot of these athletes are at another level. You get that experience under your belt. Some of those that were like, oh, I thought I was there. I was, just a little bit off the provisional times. Put a little, continue working on it, get a little bit better, and you're going to be there next season. So we'd like to think that next season, when we're talking about NCAA nationals for the Wayne State women's swim and dive team, that we have more than 4 names on that one. And I suspect that we will, just on what this team has previously done. But with that being said, the Wayne State men's swim and dive team have quite a few names that are going to be heading out. Gabriel Arias, 200-meter backstroke, 400-meter individual medley, 100-meter back, and 200-meter individual medley. He might be the swimmer of the year for this Wayne State team. Khalil Ben Ajmia, 500-meter free, 1000-meter free, and 1650 free. Olin Charnstrom with the 100-meter backstroke, 200-meter free, and 500 free. William DeBro, 1650 free, 1000-meter free. Kadeem Gosu Erdali, 1000-meter free, 500 free, 1650 free, and 200 free. Lorenzo Tassinari, 200-meter back and 100-meter back. And then finally, your diving prelim competitors are going to be Max Wasiniak and John Martin. Max Wasiniak is a fantastic diver. I mean, does not surprise me a bit to see him on that list. And I know we kind of mentioned that we also have 2 athletes on the women's side that are going as well. I believe on March 9th or March 10th, the diving prelims will happen. I don't know exactly what happens as far as who makes it into the actual competitive podium portion of it. I don't know. I'm still in Olympic mindset, but they're going to be part of it at any rate. So that's very good to see, because that team was something else. They were a very good team this season.
Yeah, and something to be said that if Wayne State is having a down year, if that means you're, what were they, like third in the conference still, I think, and you're still sending athletes down to NCAA nationals, there are a lot of schools that can't say they do that. So really good stuff from Wayne State here. Still a model of consistency, even if it hasn't necessarily come at the conference level. Still a huge opportunity here to go win some individual championships. And last but not least, a new sport has entered the chat. Not quite the last one for the spring, but another spring sport. We got the men's golf team, WAC.
Rick.
There we go.
Not gonna say not gonna say what the actual meme is, but yeah.
The WAC beep. Anyway, they will be competing on March 9th through 10th on Pawleys Island, South Carolina. It's just south of Myrtle Beach. For the Ohio Dominican Pawleys Island Beach Bash. Rolls right off the tongue, but it does sound nice. That especially right now. Again, 38 degrees in Michigan. Myrtle Beach sounds pretty good right about now.
Yeah, we're not going to talk too much about the golf season. One, because golf season's still very, very early on. Obviously, as we've talked about this entire second half of this episode, there's a lot of national postseason, all of that stuff going on right now. So we're gonna focus as much of our time on that as we can. And then as basketball season kind of starts to wrap up, or at least gets into NCAA tournament time, as fencing wraps up, swim and dive wraps up, all of that. That's where our golf, that's where baseball, that's where softball, I think we'll all start, and tennis as well. We'll start to really, really take center stage. So we'll do a deep dive on this men's golf team and the women's golf team for what it's worth when they actually get into action. But
Yep.
yeah, this basketball upcoming week, Sangster, I mean, this is a really, really big one. It could be huge for the men's basketball team.
Yep.
It will be impactful for the women's basketball team. And then, yeah, swim and dive. I mean, my goodness, we got some athletes out there that I think deserve to compete at this very high level, and they're going to get their chance to see what they can do. But that's what we got. A ton of action coming up. As mentioned, we're not going to be in town for the March 4th home women's basketball game. Unfortunately, we will be following along, but we're going to be out of town for a much needed vacation, as we would probably both say. It's time for us to go have fun somewhere else. But with that, Sangster, that is all we have. Anything else to throw in there?
I just realized that when you said March 4th, if you go on Facebook, all the national band kids are like, hey, it's National Marching Band Day, March 4th. Shout out to the women's basketball team purchasing the Wayne State Pep Band, some awesome shirts. If you look on the back of them, say, sorry, we only play at one volume, which, if you're a musician, and especially when we were at Wayne State, it was always conditioned to us like, hey, there is such thing as dynamics, and sometimes play softer, sometimes play louder. I have always been of the opinion for Pep Band, and especially when you're not the biggest. Right now, this year especially, they're certainly not small by any means, but I've always been of the mentality in Pep Band, and especially during game time, breaks in game time, you're going to be playing as loud as possible. And certainly, really great stuff, I think, from the Wayne State Pep Band this year, bringing the energy, incredibly involved. With the basketball games really reminded me of times when we were back there.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And I love seeing a lot of the support on the socials from some of the, pep band, marching band members that follow along with us, kind of go back and forth. I know the band Instagram page is pretty active. So I do like seeing that. I love the banter that we have going back and forth. And I know they'll be loud and proud when they're in attendance at 5:30 p.m. on Wednesday, March 4th, to see the Swain State women's basketball team in action.
Yep, no doubt.
Hopefully not for the last time, but maybe for the last time at the Wayne State Fieldhouse this season.
Yep.
So with that, a lot of action coming up this week, Sangster. But with that, we appreciate everybody listening in on episode 1, 2, 3 of the Warrior House podcast.
And remember, it's always a great day to be a Wayne State Warrior.